Hi, everyone. Kira here. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you are happy and you feel at ease in yourself and your body and your mind and your being. And if you don't, that's okay. You'll get there. I'll get there. I definitely have been feeling uneasy the last couple of days, just kind of watching as things unfold. And Um, I don't think I have to explain it to yeah, to you guys at all about what's going on in the world, in our world, in America. So, so so there's a band called Scary Kids Scaring Kids, and I think it was on like I don't know, I think Todd knows this band, or maybe I picked it up somewhere along the way, but I always thought that was such an interesting title or interesting band name. And I feel that that's something that's happening now a little bit. It's scared people scaring people, because that's what happens when we're in fear and we are uncertain and things feel a little bit uncomfortable. And please write in the comments, just say hi to me as you kind of pop in here. I want to see who's listening and who's watching, because I just love your faces and I just want to see you. So I've been reluctant for the last couple of days to say anything or put anything out there, not because I have a million viewers, but the viewers I have matter greatly to me. And so I don't want there to be any kind of confusion about anything. And so it's kind of getting stopped in a way of saying anything about anything. And I think that that happens to a lot of writers and a lot of authors and a lot of speakers, is that we can get stopped. And that's a good thing in a way. And I'll tell you why. Because you can really analyze how you're feeling about something and take a moment, take a breath, take a step back, and decide, okay, um, what is it that I really want to share? And then it also gives an opportunity for more information to come out. And I think that when people just blurt out however they're feeling, or experiencing what they're experiencing, um, it can cause problems. So in a way, taking a step back and saying, okay, let's evaluate it. Let's pass it through my own filter of awareness and judgment. I mean, not judgment using it in a bad way, but judgment as a tool to help us to discover our truth and discover where we really stand on things. And I think that's really powerful because it doesn't tend to lead to misunderstanding later. But remember that even if you express something that is unpopular, or it's still a little messy or that kind of thing, that you're always allowed to change your mind. Please always know you can change your mind. Even if you've written an entire book on something, um, you can change your mind. And so that can be a really, actually, very empowering thing. Because if we don't express and we don't share because of that fear of how it'll be received, which we are not responsible for, then we can limit ourselves from creating something really beautiful and powerful in our lives and the lives of others. Mia, thank you so much for joining me. She said, I haven't slept well and anxiety has been high for about a week. I completely understand that 100%, being somebody that has worked with anxiety and thousands of people as well as myself. So I have, uh, I keep that little bit of anxiety to help me to remember not to go down dark alleyways. But with what has been going on, anxiety is certainly high. So that is definitely not lost on me. And thank you so much for commenting there. Please, if you're joining us, just pop in, just write a comment, say hey to me. I want to see you. So really when I look at this, hey Carolyn, Mackie, Carolyn shares. You gotta go out to Carolyn shares. That's your that is your new, just you can keep that. Keep that, put that on your video reel. You're welcome. Kira, I'm with you. I love you, honey. All right, so let's look at that. And I love, Carolyn, that you're on here, and maybe you'll stick around and you'll make a few comments around this, because I think um uh people have accused, well, they no one's accused me of doing this. I've accused myself of doing this. putting my head in the sand and not knowing what's going on in the world and all this kind of stuff, and using spiritual doctrine to not um, fully engage with the dysfunction, right? And you should be scared and you should be worried and you should be no, right? Well, no, you don't. No, you shouldn't. Everything is going to be okay. It really is. It really is okay. And I think about so scared people, scaring people. So what we have there is fear, and it's fear run rampant, and it's something that our ego is just delighting in. The ego, to me, to give a brief description or definition of, is the separation. It is a belief that we are separate from God, we're separate from each other, we're separate from all things. Therefore, we are in, um, well, we believe that separation. So we are creating an environment or um, situations in which we are continuing to uh, show ourselves evidence of that being the truth. And that's the thing about the ego, is that it also likes to prove itself right. It likes to be the last thing that speaks and the last thing that speaks the loudest. So that part of us that is screaming out for um, attention or connection in a way. Well, our soul or spirit doesn't scream. It just says join, 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 join. It doesn't say, you know, it even doesn't say you have to be or not be anything. It's just is. It's just being in the moment. So yeah, she says, I've secluded myself from watching anything on the news. We need this. It's a great topic to brainstorm. A lot of us empaths and HSPs are feeling the same. There's a shift in energy. Absolutely. So let's play with this. I think that this is such a good thing to do, is just think about what's going right with this. Ooh, I don't know if I should even say these things. Again, remember, that's the fear of getting killed with sticks and rocks. Ready? All right. So, um, so if I don't know what anything means or anything's for, that's ACAM just 101, right? If and it's knowledge, we know it, but can we feel it? Can we sense it? I don't know what anything means or anything's for. I only do a few of these principles, and really hone in on them. Only love is real, and I don't know what anything means or what anything is for. So that those two things have saved my life. I'll tell you, they have saved my life because I put them into practice in everything that I do to the best of my ability. So I don't know what anything means. So when we look at the events that happen at the Capitol and we look at the events that have happened throughout the world, throughout the whole world, we are meant to join with those who are us. Every we are the same. Um, that that when we say, we look at something like what happened there and we use it to scare ourselves with and to create separation with. And this is the hard part, is can we look at someone who seems to be our enemy and see them as our friend? That's a hard one. We can say it. Can we actually implement it? Can we actually look at someone and say they are a brother, sister? This says something, I'll be honest with you guys, like this is something that eludes me a lot. And I hope to one day come to that exalted state where I can look at everyone as me, and I can look at everyone as Holy Spirit, and I use Holy Spirit, God, universe, whatever, interchangeably. It's not an anyway. So can I look at another who is attacking foundations that I believe in or values that I believe in or things like that, and look at them and say, your Holy Spirit, and your actions through whatever process you are experiencing them or doing them through, are good. This is the hardest one for me too. Please, in the comments, teach me. I'm teachable. is that, when we we look at all things as being good and all things are for our good. Like my ego wants to go on a rampage on that and just like beat that up, that idea. Oh, how can it be good? It's not good. Let me tell you why it's not. And let me tell you why they're bad. And let me tell you why they've done this wrong and why they're and them. I don't know what anything means or anything's for. I don't know that they aren't beautiful and they aren't perfectly orchestrated in these events to help me create a change or shift in my understanding. If everything is just an outpicturing of who I am, then whatever reactions I have to them, I hope this is right, I don't know, but whatever reactions I have to them are uniquely my own and uniquely belong to my heart, soul, and being, and they are for my good. So maybe it means that I make different choices that line me up with more unity to people that I might disagree with, that I might not understand, that I might not be able to connect with, that I might, if they are all me, how am I like them? Has there ever been a time where maybe I didn't break the law or I didn't do anything like that, but I've been so enraged and felt wrong and felt bad and felt like I demand something and something isn't happening for me and it should be happening for me and down with that. Yes, yes, I can definitely say that I have been enraged, and even by the actions of other people, I can say that seem wrong by our value system. I can look back and go, yeah, I've been just as mad at them for violating my value system as they are mad at people they perceive are violating their value system. Ugh! I hope I don't have to delete this. Because I feel like this is good stuff, but it feels really uncomfortable inside of me. I hope you guys don't feel as uncomfortable as I do by listening to it. Let's see. Carolyn says, it's smart to first aim to see them as neutral before you try to like them. Girl, see, that's why I need a teacher. All right, and then and I'll get back to that in a second. I think people will open their eyes to see each other from a different perspective. I think we're evolving in the right direction to have empathy for each other, but we will probably go through some bad before the good comes. Where'd you come from, girl? Where'd you come from? Come here, baby. Come on. Wow, that is incredible. That is absolutely incredible, and I completely agree with that. Jack agrees. Carolyn, I love this. It's smart to first aim to see the neutral. Okay, so you know what? Give me an example of that, Carolyn, because I think that's such a brilliant point, and I don't know if I can do that to full benefit. So I would love to hear more on that. And so if I were to see someone as neutral, um, it's so much harder to see them as myself, right? So if I am upset by the situation, or if I feel like they're wrong in some way, so um, so I would maybe go really general on it and go, okay, they're human. Okay, there are times when I felt mad. So are you saying that we are empathizing with the situation or with the people? Are you saying we're seeing them as neutral, as not almost in a way as not being real in the dysfunction? Help me understand that better, because like I said, I know the basics of ACIM, but I do not know them the way that you do. So and then um, Mia, I think people open their eyes to each other from a different perspective. I think we're evolving in the right direction, empathy for each other, to have empathy for each other. We'll probably go through some bad before some good comes. So this is such a good thing to break down, and I think that it's so right on in what a lot of people are feeling if they come to that place of understanding in themselves, where you are. that is very different from people who are still stuck in the mindset that there is an us and a them. There's no empathy. We can't see each other, um, and I think that I was watching a video or a interview with Matthew McConaughey, and he said, it's not really a left and right thing or whatever. I'm not going to go down into political stuff necessarily, but it's not so much a left and a right thing. It's can we come to center? And it's like, well, are you giving up something by coming to center? And it's like, well, if no one's coming over here and no one's coming over here because there isn't that, like Carolyn was saying, a space of neutrality, then no one is going to move. Nothing is going to change. And what I felt when I saw the events unfold was, oh, one of the things that one of the senators said, I believe, I'm so paraphrasing, way outside of my range, but one of the feelings that I got from one of them was, okay, let's come together now. We come together for peace now. And it's like it's beyond the rhetoric, it's beyond the I'm right, you're wrong, and when it's kind of like, if the leadership of our communities and of our world are falling apart, it's easy for us to believe that there are aspects of us that are falling apart. And actually, falling apart is not a bad thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a powerful thing, because something does need to fall apart a little bit. There were so many things that needed to happen for me. I was physically abused by a previous partner, and he was the ultimate catalyst for my personal transformation. And yes, it hurt, and yes, it was bad, but I literally needed that amount of shock to my system just before death, right? Just before the physical body dies, right? To wake up my awareness. And I think that that's what we're seeing in our government, is that they needed the shock. I don't know what they need, but let's pretend that I did. That they needed that shock to go, wait a minute, what have I been engaging in? What have I allowed my ego to pull me into? Where am I? Where am I truly? Who am I? Why is this happening for me? Because it's all happening for us. It's not happening to us, it's happening for us. So what am I going to take from this experience? Now, some people have taken rightness from the experience. See, I told you this was going to happen. And well, that doesn't get us anywhere, really. It's like, yeah, yeah, and it happened. So now what? Now what do we do? You know, what happens now? And I think what happens now is that if we can continue to see, if we can have compassion for bad choices or choices that have created conflict, if we can come together and say, all right, choices have been made and we get to choose again and we get to come to a loving place and we get to allow it. Now, I know they aren't going to use that terminology. I know they're not going to use those words, not yet or ever, but because it's just not a part of their personality. So, and that's okay. That's okay. That's where they are. And they're not wrong for being that. We need every type of personality in this world. We survive based off of our differences in many ways, our weaknesses and our strengths. And so, can we come together and find that common ground, that neutrality, and that peace? And if we can look outside of that, the political arena, and please comment, please tell me hi if you've popped on here and you've stayed for a little while. I'd like to hear from you. But if we can separate the actions of other people and instead go, okay, where am I? Who am I? What is my home base? How do I feel? How am I supposed to work through this myself? What am I working through myself? And then take a look at it in that manner, then there might be a little bit more of an opportunity for more growth and more connection. So let me look at some of these awesome comments. All right, Carolyn. Okay, The capital is being rushed is the neutral event. I see it as bad. They see it as good. The truth is, it is part of the plan, the undoing of fear. But the interpretation will determine how I feel. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Carolyn, if I can see it as neutral, as neutral part of the plan, I don't know anything. Yes, I don't know anything. I don't know anything means what anything's for. If I can practice seeing it as neutral, as in I don't know, my mind will be prepared to see it as perfect. You're smart. All right, Nia. I think there will be an empath revolution. Many of us are awakening. We are coming out to teach others through love and kindness. Agree, they needed the shock, hit the nail in the head. It's a teaching moment for them. Got the shivers when you said that confirmation. Aw, yay! I said something right. I love it when that happens. Do you say things right? Write in the comments. I think you do. I think you all say things that are right. And I'm so enjoying our time connecting around this topic. It's kind of easy to feel alone um in our empathy, in our connection, in our neutrality. And because there was times when I was watching this. I remember, okay, so I'm gonna tell you a little story. So I was in, this is the stupidest thing ever. But I was a kid, I was in high school, and the kids protested. I find this hilarious, but anyway, the kids were, and I was sitting at my desk. Like everybody was outside protesting. See, I'm not a protest. I told y'all I'm not a protester. But you don't want me on that protest bus because I will have to pee immediately and I will just hold up everybody. I'll hold up traffic. I'll be like complaining. It's just not a good thing. I've said this many times before. Do not anybody ask me to protest anything. But anyway, so I'm in high school and they want to protest and get a 4x4 schedule, which means you do 4 classes and then you do 4 more the next. I don't remember what it was, but it actually was a really nice system and it was a way for us to kind of recalibrate our brain and spend more time in one class so we could actually understand things better. It was a great learning theory. I loved it. And the protests, which I think would have been none, nobody needed to do it because they were going to do it anyway. Um, happened. So I'm like looking out the window and I think I went outside for a minute, but they were taking and pushing the news van. There was a news van there. Like, why is there a news van here? It's stupid. So, and they were chanting 4x4, 4x4, 4x4. And I'm like, wow, you people really need to get behind something. Okay. So ridiculous. And when I was looking at all the footage and all the things, and even though, yes, violent, scary people, scared people, scaring people, there was um, deaths. Deaths. I believe 5 people died, including a police officer from injuries sustained. Like really real-looking things happening. And I just remember thinking about those kids from high school and how much I could just look at it and be like, why? What? Why? What is this really accomplishing? Not the standing around, just saying how you feel, having signs, that is something different. This was something else. And so, when I thought about that, I was like, it was that moment of escalation. And I just think to myself, what are these people thinking in their heads? How did they ramp themselves up to this moment? To then, I mean, I feel like somebody broke the window and then like the first people that go in are they going like I guess I go in now. Like there's a part of me that's like going, okay, I'm in. And then you saw them all go down the little lines with the ropes. And I'm like, wow, they're really adhering to those rope guidelines. And I'm like thinking to myself, that is really interesting. It's like they're kind of pretending to have some kind of I don't know. I don't know. It's that feeling in my mind, like if I like probably if I were to ever ski, I would probably hold the thingy and then think to myself, "This is stupid. Why am I doing this?" Like water. This doesn't make sense for me in my life choices. Have you ever done that? Have you write in the comments? Have you ever followed through something just because you were following through to the end on something and it actually probably did not make any sense for you? That's what it kind of felt like, and they were so believing in themselves and so believing in what they felt was right. And there's so much to that. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm still working through it. I'm still discovering how I feel about it. And this is really helping me. And I hope this is helping you guys. Um, I hope this is helping uh, you maybe just consider things not because of how I think you should consider them, but opening up some ideas to where you are with what's going on. And I just love you, and I'm so proud of each and every one of you who is considering things in new ways, in different ways, and understandings, and trusting your guidance and allowing yourself to flow with new information, um, and opening up to the idea that it's all good. It's all good, and it's all for our good. And I love that Mia said this. Peer pressure and adrenaline is what it could have been driving them. Um, let's see what we got here. Um, okay, Carolyn, I'm so glad you're sharing this message. Oh, thank you, honey. Yeah, all the time, Carolyn. Yeah, I know, totally do that. Love your energy and spirit. Oh my gosh, no, oh my gosh. I love your mind, mighty companion. Mighty companion, Carolyn and Mia. I am so grateful for you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I really needed just to connect with people. Um, I don't know whether Stacey I am, but my coach would say this to me. She would say, when two or more people come together, the ego cannot stand. It can't stand. And so when two or more people who have love at their core intention, and by the way, love isn't angry. Love isn't love is right. Love is. It is all encompassing. It is compassionate. There's no fight in love. It just is. Uh, and it can't be one thing and another thing. It can't be, well, love is bad, or love is hard, or love is difficult, or love is, no, just love is. It is. And so when I'm connected to you, Carolyn, and Mia, hey, Patricia, um, that when we're coming together, the ego can't keep up the charade. It can't keep up the uh the separation, because I feel so connected to you guys right now. I really do. Patricia said this was great. The more we come together, the more we come to understand. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what? I just need to take a moment of deep, deep, deep appreciation for our authors, um, because I feel like absolutely 100% you get me, you get us, you get um, the even if we've not been very clear with the message of As You Wish Publishing, but you get what we stand for, because you stand for the same things, which is just truth and honesty and kindness and compassion and empathy and trust. And those things are so beautiful to me and so sacred to me that even if scared people are scaring me, I know that I can come together with you guys at any time and that fear will dissipate, because there's something about scared people scaring people in this way, is that if people live in fear, it looks and it can look like anger, or it can look like justification, or fear shows up in a bunch of different ways, and fear will also justify itself. It'll try to justify itself. So if I can get someone to join with me in fear, and rightness, then I can continue to perpetuate the fear inside of me, which grows and grows and grows. So guess what's also true? Or the opposite is absolute truth. Um, Fear is the illusion, the dysfunction, all of that. It's unreal. So the other piece of this is is that love is real. Love is the only thing that's real. And so when I join together in my fear with someone who is um, core intention is to love, core intention is to love, then that fear can't stand. It can't stand up to that. Darkness cannot stand up to the light. And darkness is not a, I'm not saying suggesting darkness is a bad thing or a good thing or this thing or that thing or fear is a bad thing. It is a tool, it's an instrument to help move us into awareness and then come together in love, right? I believe I'm saying that all correctly. I feel that as absolute truth for me right now in this moment. And as I learn more, as I develop more, I'm sure that more things will come to my better understanding as we go. So, um, yes, Carolyn, joining is so delicious. Delicious and nutritious. I love that. Love, compassion, Mia says, trust, kindness, empathy are all undervalued in our current society. That is why I felt like I never fit in. I'm finding my tribe now, so I feel empowered. I love that. I love that. This is so true. And if you follow like Myers-Briggs or anything like that, personality traits and qualities, NFs, well, so I'm an INFJ, as an INFJ, and it's like, okay, Kira, you're gonna have to explain that a lot more, but I'm not going to here. I'm just gonna say this, that people who are intuitive feelers, who tend to be more empathic and can feel and sense the world, we are fewer than the majority. So the majority of the world are people who are S's or T's. So an ISTJ, ESTJs, et cetera, et cetera. So they are sensor thinkers. So that makes up about 75% of the world. And probably Mia, you and me, I think Carolyn, probably Patricia, we are intuitive feelers. So we make up 25% of the world. And when you get down to the nitty gritty on some of these personality types, we get fewer and fewer and fewer. So it is difficult for us to look at an experience and see it the same as everyone else does, because we feel through and sense through and sometimes future pace through entire experiences within moments. And so we have a bit of a harder time seeing the world the same way as other people do. So yes, it it is undervalued because it's not understood. It's understood. It's not understood because they can't see us. This is going to be provocative. We can see them. So we can see their perspective or their point of view better than they can see ours because we do have that empathic piece. And so and we also are very avoidant of hurt. We don't want to hurt anyone, and they may not even understand or know how they are hurting themselves or us. And it's just a personality issue. It's not a good or a bad thing. It is a mental, emotional um, awareness system that they just don't have access to. They can learn it. They can learn it, just like we can learn how they think more deeply, more awareness of it. So there's so much to this. I want to unpack this so bad with Todd with me because he would never say this ever in a million years, but I really feel he is really close to being an expert on MBTI, you know. But that is a huge topic. Oh my gosh, that's such a huge topic, and I want to get into that because that's so cool. Um, and also too, I just put these somewhat I put these two together actually verbally online, so that's wild to me. All right, so guys, I cannot tell you how grateful I am for you to stay with me this long. Let's do a little bit of a rampage. We're here to teach them. That's our mission. Maybe, maybe, you know, that could be true. I'm really I've come from the place, and I don't think this is necessarily where you're coming from, but for me, I have I pulled in a lot of rightness on that kind of thing in the past, where And like I said, I'm not saying this is what you're saying at all. Um, well, there's two pitfalls. One is for me, I can get my ego really, really wrapped up in that, and my ego can get a lot of nums off of telling people how they should feel and be. But the truth is that I don't know what my brother or sister needs. So I don't know that they need to be taught. I don't know that I'm even right. I just know how I feel. And if I stay committed to how I feel and make that a priority in my experience, then everything else kind of falls into place on its own. And so the other piece is they are not asking. They're not asking to be taught. So if and I think this is kind of what you're saying is just being that example. So if I can be the example of of thy peace, right? If I can be an example of peace, then I feel like I'm really truly doing all that I can to make a positive impact. If I and that seems valuable to me. And maybe me even wanting to be an impact is there's something in it for me in a way that's not conducive to my um, understanding. But I'm still going to do my best, and I'm still going to trust and positively move in a direction that I feel is best for me and best for the people who I care about. And I care about all of you guys. So, that's true. Got to check the ego. Yes, the example, and yes, if they ask, yes. So you are so right on that, and I think that when people start searching, because I know a lot of ISTJs or people who are just so on it. They may not have that intuitive function in them necessarily, or it's not their go-to place, but they have this really beautiful ability to connect deeply with who they are and the people around them, even though they may not categorize themselves as an empath. And I like having that stabilizing feature with people because I can fly off this planet so fast. I don't know about you guys, but I can let my empathic nature take me out, and it's very painful. And but I love the groundedness of an ST in many ways because they can just be like they can be really easy too. It's like I don't have them they don't have to understand emotionally why something works. They just want to know, does it work or does it not? And then I don't waste or expend any energy helping them understand something because they're like, okay, this is the evidence, this is the result. Okay. No, that's not everybody, but that's my really vague 10,000-foot view that my husband could totally go deep on. So so it's so interesting that we look at all of this as so much wonderful information and so much guidance for us to develop ourselves, bringing ourselves to the peace, bringing ourselves to the peace, bringing ourselves to the peace, bringing ourselves to the peace. And the peace is already here. So then it's, I am the peace, I am the peace, I am the peace. So let's just quickly do a little bit of a mini rampage because I cannot believe I have talked this much. And guys, and you guys have been just so beautiful and just with me. Thank you so much, Mia and Carolyn and Patricia. I'm just so grateful for you guys. Carolyn, me too, so sensitive. Yeah. Yeah. And it's so good we are. It's so good we are. We see things, experiencing things that a lot of people just haven't had the opportunity to experience, and we haven't had the opportunity to experience things that they have. And so as we're coming together, we're joining. I love learning about what they can experience in different ways that I don't have awareness of yet, and how fun that is to grow in it. Let's do a little thing. So deep breath. We need it. I need it. Truth. I am human. I am an earthling. I am grateful. I'm loved. I am loving. I am trusting. I am knowing. I am. peace. I am kindness. I am interested. I'm interested. I'm interested. I'm interested. There are things that I don't understand fully. I'm interested in learning about them. I'm interested in learning about how I can experience things in ways that feel more connecting. I like the idea that there's this union in me and in others, that we can come together and we can love even better. We can connect even better. We can enjoy even better. We can create even better. And right now, it's enough. Right now, it's enough. It's all enough. It's enough. It's enough. It's enough. Enough. Right now is enough. And isn't it nice when it can be more? And I like enjoying things being more. I like feeling more love. I like feeling more loving. I like feeling more trusting. I like knowing who I am. I like being who I am. I love knowing you. I love knowing you who showed up here. I love knowing you who are just watching this later and who are kind of coming to your own understanding of things. I love knowing you because you're me. You're me. Every every part of you. And it's not just the good parts. It's the crunchy parts. It's the crusty parts. It's the parts. It's all those parts. All those parts. I love those parts in you. I love them all. I love them all. I love them all. Because you're Holy Spirit. And what wouldn't I do for Holy Spirit? I'd do anything for Holy Spirit. Yeah. I can see you and I love you and I can trust you. Isn't that nice to know that there are people in this world I can trust? Some I trust so easy. I can just, I can say anything to you. I can say anything to you and you can love me. Even the crunchy parts, the crusty parts, the hard parts. Because I can love myself and I like loving myself and I enjoy the process of loving myself. Say these things with me. I enjoy loving myself. I know I can love myself even better. I'm enjoying the process of loving myself better. I know who I am. And I'm getting clearer and clearer all the time. Things are getting figured out. And isn't it nice when things get figured out fully? Ooh, I like that. I like knowing that I am integrating all things good in my heart and being and soul. And I like knowing you are on that same journey like me. So let's take another good breath. Bring yourself into this day and the remaining days ahead with the knowing of love and peace that you really, really just say good, quick. Let me take a look for this. Thank you, Kira. Grateful for your sweet spirit. I love learning to you. I am connected. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being in here and teaching me as well. Carolyn, thank you so much for being here and teaching me. Patricia, thank you for teaching me here. I am so grateful for you. And I'm so grateful for everybody that's going to listen to this video in the future. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm going to go ahead and pop out of here and I'm going to get back on track and move forward as I hope you all move forward with me. Talk to you later. Bye.